This is Life After Sports podcast with your host, Kevin Johnson. This is episode 25 with our guest, Stan Remy, CEO of Remyworkouts, and as well as a professional basketball skills trainer. And so, man, with that being said, man, I'm glad to have you on here, man. We've been friends for a long time, but, I had to get you on here, Rem.
Facts, man. It's only right. It's only right.
So I know your time, but we're going to go straight into it, man. We're going to go pre-career, in-career, post-career. So, man, for those who don't know a lot about you, give us a little insight about your journey and where it all began in your childhood.
I was born in Boston, but I moved to Miami Gardens when I was, young, 3 years old. Basketball was introduced to me early, through my pops and my big brother. We didn't grow up in the nicest neighborhood, so, understanding how to fend for yourself and be competitive was like something that was, first nature to the game of basketball as the culture, comes together. My dad always taught me to compete. I kept the sport close to myself. And when we moved out west to Cooper City, that's when basketball started to get a little bit more serious. And, I had a lot of different influences guys in my life. Like, one of my best friends, Adrian Sosa, his dad was my coach for many years, Coach Delapace, guys that kept basketball close. I considered myself an average basketball player in high school until, I met my best friend, Keon Doolin, 13-year NBA veteran. He really showed me how to really work on my game, because when we grew up, all we did was play basketball to get better. We didn't work on our game per se. But, I think it's a medium between the both of playing and training. I think we got the competitiveness, we got the toughness from the playing, but the actual skill of getting better, I think that's the art that was lost. And meeting him and him, enhancing my game, I fell in love with the process of getting better. Like, I was just like, wow, I feel like this is a secret to kids, to different people that don't understand how to get better. And I fell in love with it because I watched my game elevate. I went from a whole different player, working on my game. So I fell in love with that. Even though I went to college and played in South Carolina, it was a D2 out there called Morris College. I played there, but in the back of my mind, I always knew that I wanted to help people get better. And what was crazy is I used to train my own teammates in college. It's just crazy. While playing on the same team, we would come in back at night, and I would say, let's just do everything Keon taught me this summer.
So my question, so when you started this in regards to training, you started this in college?
College, man. It's crazy, right?
Wow.
College. And the underlining key to training, is what I did after college, which was coaching. I think
that was my next question. I was going to ask you, what was your plans after college?
Yeah, so I knew training at the time, it wasn't popping like how it is now. Everybody's a trainer now. So it wasn't like that, and there was no social media. So it was a little bit different. So when you look at it as a career, you're like, okay, well, what am I going to do? I didn't know what player development was or any of that stuff. I just knew I wanted to get people better. So I said basketball, getting people better, teaching, that equals coaching. So I got into coaching. I went back to my high school. My head coach, Pat Delapace, he gave me an assistant coaching job at Cooper City, and I was coaching there for 2 years. Then I got the head JV job, and then I was able to transfer to go to Hollandale High School, where I was the assistant coach for a year, and then I became the head coach for 2 years. That experience was amazing. It helped me understand a different aspect of the game, the teaching the game, understanding personalities. You have 15 personalities on the team.
Absolutely.
That's what people don't understand. It's not one way or the highway. I was able to learn how people operate, how they think, and that helped me with my training.
Yeah.
Definitely, because
talking about your training, going into the in-career, when did you discover your passion for player development and skill training? A lot of the stuff you're talking about in regards to, college, when you played in college and helping different players grow their, like, getting better. You wanted everybody to get better. And then, going from coaching, And pretty much probably a lot of people don't know that you were a high school coach.
Absolutely, absolutely, coach. And you know, I and this is great because you know a lot of people don't know my playing history, but I was a pretty good basketball player, Kevin. I
Oh,
used to play all the time. You know, through high school we played against each other.
yeah, we
After
played against each other in high school too.
that, so, you know, that side of it, like I said, I called myself an average player until I met Keon, but I fell in love with it when I started training. Like like I said, because we didn't train. You know that we just played. We just played against people from park to park, and we didn't work on our games. So I seen a dramatic change in my game once I started training, and I said, "Oh, this is the thing I want to do. I want to change people's lives this way. I want to help kids reach their goals, to get free education. If I can do that, if I can get them out of bad situations, if I can be their outlet mentally, through just the game of basketball, I was like, wow, this is what I want to do."
If you had to go back, and I think you probably mentioned it earlier, who was that first NBA client that you actually trained or worked or you know?
It was Keon. It
It
was
was
Keon.
Keon.
Funny story. Um, I'm a lot younger than Keon, so Keon was training me, like I said, while he was ending his rookie contract with the Clippers. Then he came down here and signed with the Heat. That's when we got close and started working on our game. He was on that team with D Wade, Shaq, Eddie Jones, all those guys, and most importantly, you know what he helped me with is not just training. Hanging out with them, just being around NBA players first and foremost was important. You get the wildness out early, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's D Wade, or oh my God, that's Udonis Haslem. I was able to get that out early. So hanging around these guys, it helped me. It helped me understand how guys operate, like I said, and how they think at an early age. I was able to develop that and get the starstruck out. And I think him putting me in these situations, able me to, like I said, utilize all that information and be able to use it mentally, psychologically while I'm doing my training now, because I've been around you guys for a long time.
Yeah.
Even different people, you know, most of the time these guys have the same issues.
Yeah. Same issues.
Same things that they battle with, from family to making it out to, you know, not bringing the hood with you, or, you know, people begging for money, or the stress of an NBA season, or the expectations of an
Or
NBA,
performing.
or performing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, which is the expectations of an NBA player. So I see that. I saw that early on the regular. So, but yeah, Keon was the first guy, player that gave me his shot. I'll never forget it. I used to annoy him all the time after games. He could tell I was such a student of the game. He would say, "All right, Stan, you only got 10 minutes with me after the game. I just played a full game. I don't want to talk basketball." But I would be like, no. I need at least 10, 15 minutes. I could tell you a million things I saw you did wrong. I used to steal his playbooks every summer, stack them up, go through them. Like, it used to be crazy. I used to steal all his DVDs. Back then it was DVDs, highlight tapes, watching, breaking down film. He's like, "Hey, you want to watch something?" Yeah, this film. He used to be like, "Bro, what's wrong with you? All you want to do is watch basketball, talk basketball." I'm starting to be sick about it.
Hey, you was eating it, living it, you know.
Man, it was an amazing experience. So, um, I remember this. It was like 3 summers later. He was like, "All right, man, listen, it's time for you to train me. I'm tired of, I'm gonna let you go ahead. You got it. You take the wheel." And I had a million and one things. The first thing I wanted to do is just change the shot, make it more productive. I saw a bunch of different things. Yeah, thank you. The request, you got it? Yes, thank you. Right. I saw a bunch of things that I saw in his shot and his balance and his release. And, obviously guys are very insecure about change. Nobody likes change.
Yeah.
And he said, "You know what? Everything you want to do, I'm going to do it," because he can tell I paid detail to his game. So, long story short, he came into the NBA a non-shooter. That year, how I blew up was, he was with the New Jersey Nets, and I think he had like 6 threes in a game. He was like top 10 in the NBA in three-point field goal percentage out of nowhere.
Wow.
And back then, it wasn't any social media, so everybody had to watch NBA TV.
Yeah.
and after a game to see what a player had to say. And they were like, Keon, you came into the league your first 4 years. You weren't a good shooter. You're very athletic. You got to the rim whenever you want. You were fast. This year, out of nowhere, you are shooting the ball amazingly. Talk about your development and what happened. And he was like, you know what? One of my good friends down in Miami, a new trainer, Stan Remy, is really who changed my mentality and my form, and we just got so many reps up, and it was more paying attention to detail on something that specific. Because every summer I go in the summer just get better, right?
Yeah.
He said, no, for what? Let's just get better on one thing specifically. He was bringing out film. He was doing so many things, and it was skyrocketed. So after that day, I was getting calls from NBA players, numbers that I'd never seen before in my life. Rasul Butler, Udonis Haslem, James Jones.
Wow.
It was crazy. Everyone just hit me, yo, Malik Allen, you train, right? You live in Miami. That's where we're going to be at this summer. We want to just get in the gym, man. Like, we was trying to ask Keon. Keon was holding out. He didn't want to tell nobody. I'm the secret, right? And then it just blew up
Hey.
from there. And one thing that I was important that I made sure that I did was build the youth. I wanted to build the youth. My whole thing was training kids. And it's funny that I'm on this phone with you now because you had a very instrumental part in that development. Because, as you know, as a trainer in the game, finding facilities is like the worst. It is
Headache.
the
It's
thing
a headache.
to find your home, to find a home where you can operate out of. And you were one of the first guys to give me that home. And you were that one of the first guys to watch me develop Brandon Knight, where I met him in like 10th grade. And we just were literally just getting after it, getting after it, getting after it, getting after it. And you witnessed it. And to see where he's at today in the NBA, it's amazing. He's one of those special stories.
Yeah. Talking about just the journey, man. Me being on the out, and I won't even say outside because I felt like it was a part of your journey too, man. Just watching you right there in the gym while I'm coaching at Broward College and being able to use our facility no matter what time. I'm like, hey, you need to get in the gym? Let's go, man. I got the key.
Facts.
And those days of grinding like that, it actually prepare you for what you're doing now. You know what I'm saying? You laid the foundation, you laid the groundwork. And my next question is, what key component do you think that is needed for what you do with your clients? Like a key component for them to be able to say, hey, I need to get in contact with Remy. What is that key component that you have in regards to relationship with those players?
Wait, you got to rephrase that question. I'm a little lost. Say it one more time.
What's the key component that is needed for you to have with your clients? I'll give you an example. They won't come to you if they didn't know they can trust you. They didn't know the value of what you do. So that's me saying that's what I think your component is, but you may have something else as a key component to you working with them.
That's it all the way. It's just the communication. We got a different type of communication. Like I said, with me and my guys, it's not just get in the gym and then leave and work on your game. Like I want to know how your family's doing. I want to know how you're doing mentally. I want to know how you feel. And when they start seeing that, and you ask, because you got to think, an NBA player 9 times out of 10 when somebody sees them, can I take a picture?
Yeah.
Or do this? Can I have this? For me, it's how are you doing first and foremost. Like so they let their guard down when they when they let the guard down. Hold on, I have to switch rooms real quick. When they let their guard down, they're less vulnerable. Now you're able to really teach. You're really able to enhance mentally with those guys when they trust you. That's the biggest thing. So I think that's like the biggest key component for me with guys. It's just getting their trust and making sure that they trust me at a high level.
Yeah. My next question, because I know you have to go. What is the most remarkable accomplishment that you achieved in your career so far?
The most remarkable
Accomplishment.
Well, it's a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a lot,
Look, you
man.
got a lot, man. Just if you could narrow down to one, what would that be? And I know you got a lot of achievements.
I'm gonna name 3. Watching Brandon Knight get drafted was amazing, just because working with him, in high school. Vernon Carey Jr., who just got drafted to Charlotte, been with him since 6th grade. So you got to think that is like that's like a family member. Like, you know what I mean? And reaching a goal and a dream that's sought out at such a young age, that's an impossible dream. That's impossible to make it to the NBA. Let's be for real.
Yeah.
To see that happen, um, that's it was remarkable. So, and then the next thing, obviously, working with Dwyane Wade is unreal. Like that is Mr. Miami, one of the top 3 shooting guards of all time. He's a Hall of Famer. He's special on and off the court. So those things are very memorable to me. But there's a lot of more. It's a lot more. And so,
Look, the reason I had to ask you that question, we have a lot of viewers. They love to know, okay, what was the biggest accomplishment? And for the majority of my next question, it goes into, what was the biggest challenge or failure in your career? Because, in regards to reaching success, it's normally not always an easy road.
well, the I would say just staying consistent. I think consistency is the key in this business. At the end of the day, it's been times where you want to give up, where you're trying to make this a career. There's no money. You can't pay rent. I remember I couldn't pay my rent. I couldn't do a lot of things. I couldn't move around the right way. You want to just give up. You think it's a failure. But if you really believe in what you're doing, like, and you really truly believe in it, you just got to keep going and push through. I think that's what's wrong with America now. Like with our country and our society. When they reach a bump, they don't know how to keep going. When they reach that bump, they say, you know what?
I
Let me
quit.
let me go find something else to do.
Mm-hmm.
And and they reach a plateau, and then they say, oh, let me go find something else. When it gets tough, when they can't find that easy way out, they go try to find something else, start it all over, and then do it the same way. You're never going to reach the mountaintop unless you go through trials and tribulations.
Patience. Yeah.
And I think that's the key. So when people ask me, how are you so successful? Consistency,
Yeah.
belief, like, you know what I'm saying? Trust in your work, trust in your craft, in your grind. It ain't gonna be easy. Understand, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think being rock bottom with this, it was just an idea that turned into a career, that turned into a lot of success.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it, obviously, but like I said, I still look at me as that person that's trying to make it
Yeah.
or not. Deion
Yeah.
sometimes always tells me, like, man, do you take a deep breath and just say, damn, I'm doing good? Because the way you talk, you would think that you still on the streets trying to get it. Like, like,
Hey, but it just means that you're humble, and that's one thing I say about you, man. For the years that I've known you since high school, you've been the same way in regards to your humbleness and
uh,
being the same person. And I respect
uh,
your craft. I respect your journey. And going into the last section, talking about your post career, what are some things along this journey that you've learned about yourself?
that I'm patient. That I'm patient. I learned that um, I do a good job of putting myself in other people's shoes. A lot of people don't do that. Um, um, I learned that I am a great critical thinker, believe it or not, through this. And did I say patient?
You said patient. Yeah, that was the first one.
I because, like I said, man, it's so challenging when you talk about dealing with so many different personalities, so many different things going on. You have such a high expectation for everybody. Sometimes you don't even have time for yourself to think, right?
Yeah.
I'm, I'm blessed to have an amazing family that supports me and backs me and gives me the love that I need for myself at times, right? But it's challenging. It's challenging when you take that hour to yourself, that car ride, quiet in the car, where you get to reflect on everything, and you know, because it gets real. It's I developed an anxiety through it
Yeah.
because you have to make sure everybody's on their game, and you got to be on your game. You don't have time to have bad days. I
Yeah.
can't have a bad day.
Yeah.
You understand
Because
me?
somebody's counting on you.
To make sure they have a good one.
Yep.
So
Yep.
a lot about myself with that. Like that. My main thing is my patience, and and just being so strong. People could say they're strong, but you get put to the test. People can say, hey, I trust you, until it's time to get trusted, right? Like when you put the trust to the test to see if you really are trustworthy, right? Um, I put that to the test with this, and I could tell that, wow, I am a strong human being. I am a patient human being. I am a great critical thinker. And I learned those things about myself for sure.
Yeah. So going to my next question, I think everybody want to hear about this because I'm excited about this. I know you're excited about this new journey as well. In regards to, let's talk about the Miami perimeter. I mean, when did you know that it was time to have your own facility? And I came and saw the facility for myself, and I say it's freaking amazing, state of the art. So if anybody who's watching who haven't been there, might want to get there. Might want to get there. But yeah, man, talk about that experience of now having your own facility.
I mean, it's a dream come true. Like I said earlier, so many years of going gym to gym. And then when I got successful, you still going gym to gym, paying so much for rentals and having to deal with people, hovering over you and looking at the clocks and looking at the time, or, hey, can you get this basketball signed? Because I'm letting you use the gym. Or, a lot of people that didn't want to do favors, now they look at you and they're just like, they want favors. And it's so funny how the clock has turned. And I think, you know, the grind, of everything that I've been through, um, to have your own facility now, what's crazy, it still hasn't kicked in yet. I had my days where you cry and you're just like, damn, this is really mine. Like, I got the keys. It's state of the art. It's built just like an NBA facility. So, like, this is everything that I ever wanted in life. Like, as I learned from Keon early in life, that you set your goals, right, in life. I used to set my 3-year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals. And this was a part of a 10-year goal. Guess what? I'm 2 years behind. That shows you the patience. That shows you the perseverance. That shows you never give up, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
2 years behind. This was a part of a 10-year goal. I've been doing this for 13, 12 years now. So I'm behind 2 years. And I never gave up. So that lets you know that it doesn't contradict what I just said that I learned about myself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, the race is not to the to the one who the swiftest, but the one who's patient and endures to the end. So I mean, you took your time, you endured to the end, and now you're getting the fruits of your labor. And so I'm happy for you, especially with the gym. My next question is, what advice would you share to those beginning trainers who are interested in being a professional basketball skill trainer? Because now they just think it's a fad. Everybody's like, oh, I want to be a trainer. I want to hop on a boat. I want to be a trainer. It's work, folks. It's work.
You know what I see a lot of players that say, oh, I didn't make it, so forget it. I'll just train kids now. Like, playing and training is two different things.
Two different things.
Playing and teaching is two different things. So two things I can give. Don't try to make this a fallback career. My career wasn't even destined yet, and I knew that this is what I wanted to do, as you can see in the story. Don't make this a fallback career. Oh, I didn't make it to the NBA, or I didn't play. I didn't make it overseas, so I'll just stay along the sport and do basketball. This is something you got to love. You got to have a love for this. You got to have a passion for it. You got to have a passion for help. You got helping people, teaching people. It's just a feeling, and you know it. Don't make this a fallback career, and then just stay consistent. This is what you want to do. Like I said before, go through it. Go through the bumps. Go through the bruises, and when you're at the top, the consistency of it. 10, 15 years, 20 years. If you don't get there, if this is what you want to do, however long it takes, you stick with it.
Yeah. Well, you've been saying a lot of great gems. I hope people are paying attention and listening and taking these things. My last question to you, I need you to move the camera right where I can get you, right? There we go. There we go. My last question. List 3 people. We do this for all our guests. We want you to list 3 people that you would nominate to tell their stories about their journey in the sports industry or as a professional, current or former athlete, that you would like to go ahead and nominate to be on this podcast.
Well, you did one already. You stole one from me, Keon.
I got Keon, man, and he did a wonderful job.
Yeah. I think Brandon Knight's story is amazing. I think his story is amazing. I think Udonis Haslam's story is amazing. Two very close friends of mine. Because it's a lot. Y'all don't know about UD that he had to go through. So to see him in year 18, it's unreal. It's super
Wow.
unreal. Another person, Phil Handy, who to
Phil
me,
Handy.
I think is the best in the game at what I do.
Mm.
He's so knowledgeable. I love the rhythm of the game that he teaches. We're very similar. And his story as a basketball player turned trainer to NBA coach to NBA player development to, on the bench as a third assistant. Just watching him and his, I think is key for trainers to listen to his story. Those three guys for sure. I would definitely want to nominate.
Okay. Now, I definitely would make sure that I tap into your connect so that I could be able to get them on this show,
No problem.
hopefully for sometime next year. I know NBA season is getting ready to start.
For sure.
Um, Doobie has a quick question. This is my last question because I know you have to go.
Yep.
He said, has Remy thought about being a skills and development trainer for the NBA, for an NBA team?
Oh, great question, man. You know what? In my last 3 or 4 years, probably like last 3 years of doing this, I've been turning down those jobs, to be honest with you. I love the liberty of being able to train anybody I want, help anybody I want, continue to still help the kids. Because the youth is so important to me, developing kids. People think that they're like, Stan, man, he don't even train kids no more. That's a lie. I still train over 100 kids.
Hey, Remy, let them know you started training kids. That's where it started
That's
first.
and I think that's another advice I can give to trainers. Don't be so don't be so concerned about how many NBA players you're training. Because nowadays these NBA guys, they'll just train with anybody because it's accessible or it's convenient, right? Business wise convenient, location wise convenient, and they want to just get a good sweat. Guys that are serious about their game, they know who they want to work with and they know who they need to work with. So don't be concerned about the NBA so much. Create an NBA player. How about that? Help create one at a young age, so that determines that your formula of how you're teaching the game is working.
Ooh, that's deep. That's deep right there.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I just want to say, man, I appreciate it. I got to get you one of these shirts, man.
Please, 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 man. Look out for your little homie, man. Come on, man.
Nah, man. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Look, man, I know you got to go. Life
Yes.
After Sports podcast with Kevin Johnson, our special guest. We had Stan Remy here, and I appreciate you taking the time to get on our show and pretty much just give us those jewels. So, man, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, my brother, man. I'll see you soon, bro.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too.